Yes, people, welcome back to another edition of the FallenGiantz podcast. It's an unlikely duo today. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's been done before. Anyway, I still need to get used to doing the intro. I'm used to Chaz taking the lead and all that, but it's good practice. It's good practice.
It is good practice. You did well. Be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I said another edition. I kind of twisted it up a little bit. No, I'm actually still shocked we're here again. We're doing, that's 3 weeks on the bounce, that might be a record. Actually, might be a record.
This is what you call consistency. This is what our fans and followers have been asking for.
Yeah. What's it called? We did say baby steps into it. Like, honestly, we have to. Once a week was the aim for the start of this season. We needed to do at least once a week before we can even start thinking about growing beyond 200 subscribers that we've been stuck on for.
Because I don't blame anyone. Get more than 200 subscribers. That's why.
Yeah, to be honest, people probably thought we just packed it in.
So they gave it a go. They weren't very good at it. They just
yeah.
That's basically what happened. Although we did get a plug because me, Chaz, and a few of the other boys went to a football quiz on Monday.
Yeah,
and we got a nice plug there, so we might have got at least one other subscriber.
What do you mean plug? Like, is it?
Well, the quizmaster plugged our channel, didn't he?
Yeah, but I thought you meant a plug within the industry. I was thinking like a little growth, a little boost we can have.
No, we just said for the FallenGiantz, we might have got a subscriber
at the local pub.
Quiz. It was relevant.
No, it was relevant, but at the local pub. I guess you got to start somewhere, don't you? That's where Ed Sheeran started. So it is. He started in the
riding trains at night and playing local pubs.
Except we can't sing. We can't sing though.
We can't sing, and we are useless at football podcasts. So
yeah, that's a problem. But it's been. I mean, there's always football. There's always things going on every single day. It's always evolving. One thing that's a constant and a mainstay is United in turmoil all the time. I feel like I can't get away from this. My club must be cursed, honestly.
We spoke about changing the channel name, didn't we? Before,
like a rebrand,
before we started up again, and because both of our clubs weren't FallenGiantz anymore, but yours is kind of slipping back into that FallenGiantz title.
I don't know whether I have my club back. Like I just don't know when. I can't even put a time frame on it. Like it's so many underlying factors need to happen. There's too much unrest of owners. You've had just so many different cases, literally like law cases. A few of them, like I've mentioned to you, both our right wingers, Harry Maguire right now. It's just constant. It is a tiring time, to be a United fan. Like,
just feels a bit of calamity, doesn't it? And the thing is, I think James asked you because you guys did a
midweek
video on it anyway. But I'm sure he asked you whether it was in that video or whether it was in the chat, like whether you'd be calling for Ten Hag's head in a couple games' time.
I'm not at that stage. I feel like I'd be doing myself dirty. I'd feel a bit dirty saying that so early, like because I was the one singing his praises for so long. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that reactive.
I genuinely believe he's a good manager and he'll see you through it if he's given time. But the thing is, the systemic problems aren't at managerial level. They aren't at player level. They're not even at director level.
Well, I guess they are at owner level.
They're at owner level. It all stems from owner level, and then it feeds down the chain. Look at every good turnaround for the books in from a club perspective. It all starts because the ownership model has changed. Something has changed. And the club has then changed in turn. So I just think while the Glazers aren't committed, while they want out, while they don't care, while they still see it as solely business, nothing changes, in my opinion.
No, it doesn't. It does. It's very. I was listening to another podcast the other day. Football is more simple than people make it out to be. People try and complicate it and make it a bit more complex than it is, but it is quite simple. And you're right, it stems from the owners. And it sounds boring because so many people have said it. We've done numerous protests. Like, it's quite a boring topic now. But You're right, but we will still analyze what's happening on the pitch and the decisions of the manager, because
we have to, because that's what we can see. That's the thing that we can talk about and we can discuss.
But it's good that you brought that up, actually, because I'm thinking Ten Hag needs a director of football above him. We have CEOs like Richard Arnold. We have a transfer negotiator like John Murtaugh. They're the two names that kind of help us get through transfer, sales, and buying. But we need a director of football that can identify certain profiles to bring into the club outside. The manager can still have a say, but he can't be the only one to have a say. No. If you look at the profiles we've signed, most of them are from the Dutch league. Half of them are from his old Ajax team. That's not enough of a pool of talent to be going off. You can't. You look at what Brighton are doing. You know what I mean? So we need to be, taking off their model.
It's also not how most successful football clubs work. Right, and you can't just rely on a man, because what's the manager's fundamental job?
Coaching,
to manage the team,
coaching. He's coaching
players. It's not to be the scout. It's not to be the negotiator. You can't do that stuff. And the way the world works and the way football clubs work at the moment, there's so much involved. And that's too much.
It's changed down the years.
Think about the Wenger model, right? Where he would be involved in every single decision. Right? He would be there for every.
Same with Ferguson.
Same with Fergie, exactly. And they're two of the greatest managers that have been in Premier League history. Yeah. Right? But times evolve and things move on, so it can't just be on one person anymore. That's why you have complete scouting teams, and obviously United have this, right? They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They obviously have this.
We probably have credible people in the scouting departments and stuff like that.
But it's whether all of those people are singing off the same hymn sheet.
Yeah, that's the problem, and it's just uneasy at the minute. And there's a lot. I could go through with United, each sector, like you said, whether it's owner, the board, the players, the fans, the staff. You go one by one and dissect each one of the problems, because there's problems within each of them sectors as well. So it's a lot to unpack and unfold. And you're right, it won't realistically change. I'm going to analyze them on the pitch, and when we preview the game on the weekend, we will look to see if we can make any changes. But it's just looking bleak at the minute. It's looking bleak. Like, I know it's mental, because I was going in with a slight sense of optimism, but into this season. But then I think pre-season shut me up a little bit, and I kept my mouth shut, really, because I was like, okay, it's only pre-season, so I wasn't taking it too seriously. But there was some concerns in pre-season, but I thought I was just trying to be sensible and logical. But then as soon as we got to that Wolves game, because we played Lens and we won 3-1 in pre-season the week before, but it wasn't convincing, and we were getting opened up with ease. And then we got to Wolves, and from minute one, you saw, oh shit, we're not here to start the season, are we? At the minute, we really aren't here to start it. And
I wonder why that is, though, because you started better last season. No.
We did.
Sorry, ignore me.
It took us the 2 games, to
actually because you had awful stuff. But then after that, you picked up. So you never know what.
Yeah, but this season, I was really expecting a fast start. I don't know what it was. We played 8 preseason games. We got in our targets. I know Højlund's injured, but we got in our targets relatively early, 3 of them. I was thinking, okay, cool. Mount's been here the whole preseason. He's going to have 8 games to settle in, bed in, create combinations with his midfield partners. It's just not gone well. And I have to blame a lot of it on Ten Hag, like the majority of it on him, because he decided to go for this style. He seemed to completely, I mentioned it on the last podcast, but he's gone against his own beliefs and philosophy and decided to become this transitional team. Like, he's in a limbo at the minute. He doesn't quite know what he wants to do, which is a worry. Yeah. That's the doubt. That he's not stuck to his one belief that we thought he was coming in with from Ajax. And I'm thinking, why has he changed his mind now? Why has he let anyone at the club or the club's culture dictate his?
Maybe you never know. That's the thing. When you're in the storm, you don't see past it, so you never know like what sort of.
But Ollie,
what's going on at the club that messes around with his thoughts, or whether he can do what he wants to do, sort of thing. We're never going to know what's going on inside that club. So maybe you're absolutely right. Maybe his thought paths have been changed.
I'm stealing a little bit from a great clip I saw on the SDS podcast, and one of these United fans, Liaz, the American, the American guy that I showed you.
Yeah.
He made a great clip that went viral on Twitter. He was mentioning that the doubt started to creep in, and it's hard to come back from that. Once the doubt creeps into your mind, it's very tough to change your mind again after that. Because he was saying Ten Hag's almost caught in the limbo between transitional football and possession-based football. Because if you look at the team, it's half set up for the transition counter-attacking football and half set up for possession. So like there is no clear identity. I don't think there's a world in which you can mix both, can you? I mean, I guess you can, because City do it like when they need to, but it's very tough to merge the two kind of philosophies together like that. I know teams ideally want to be as adaptable as possible and unpredictable to play against. So you want to be able to change it up in an away from home game and a home game. But I feel like we need a base style and philosophy first to go off. Like it just feels that everyone's a bit confused at the minute. I know it sounds very simple, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised definitely to see the same lineup from the last game.
It's a bit stubborn,
Nothing.
Is it stubborn? It's very stubborn.
Potentially, yeah. Because if you, obviously, it didn't work. Something didn't work, and typically, I mean, look, we're what, 2 games in.
Yeah, no, and that's why I'm staying. You've got to keep your head on sometimes.
You do. We can't go too early, because he might keep the same lineup next week, and I know the performances aren't what you want to see, but it is one win and then 1 loss. Like it's not, from a results perspective, it's not tragic yet.
Well, apparently Pep is one of them. If that team gets him in trouble, Pep traditionally actually plays the same team to get them out of trouble. He's like, okay, you got me in this, you get me out of it. But I told you I only wanted 2 minor tweaks, which was McTominay and Sancho, which is nothing too crazy. But I just worry about the stuff. I think he will change it next game when we get into that. I do think he will.
I think the Sancho down the middle is exactly what you need.
I think he will change it. I think he realised his mistake. He realised it.
He's forced to change it now as well, with Mount being out.
Yeah, exactly. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks now, which is a gutter. We'll get into the Arsenal United preview next week when we do it next week. But I was just going to say, the line I always love to use, football is a game of very fine margins, fine lines in football. Like the first half an hour, if Bruno puts that header away and we go in 1-0 at half time, it's just different game. But the only problem is it's far too end-to-end and frantic for my liking. The fact that
there doesn't seem to be much control going on.
When I look at Arsenal, and this video is really based on kind of comparing teams and their levels. When I look at Arsenal and City compared to United, still early on, I know it's only been 1 year, but our games are far too dependent on 50-50 battles. And so whereas Arsenal City establish a certain percentage of dominance to increase the chances, of winning the actual game and winning in the battles with overloads and things like that. Whereas United, we could win a game 3-0, but we could also lose a game 3-0. And you kind of don't want to be in that scenario, because in an ideal world, you don't want to be in that, because you really just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get with United.
But that's what you say. Control is key in this game. And you hear about all the top managers talk about it, is that you have to have a certain amount of control in a game to be able to...
They're obsessed with control, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're obsessed
because if you have that control, right? Yeah. If you always have the ball, like we do it at our training, at our level, like the more you have the ball, the more opportunity you've got to put yourself into a situation to win the game, right? You stop the other team from having the ball so they can't win the game. It's like we're talking about simple football. It's actually as simple as that.
Simplicity is... I look at the player, but just to go on that point, actually, this is why I still back Ten Hag, and he was giving me a lot of hope because he kept mentioning the word control. And even when we were, when we were winning games narrowly last season, he still wasn't happy. He's a perfectionist in the same mold as the Artetas, the Peps, and the Klopps. And he kept mentioning control. It was a good 45, but we didn't control the game. So they're the kind of little extracts that keep me going, the little quotes that keep me going. And I hope he's sticking to that. I hope he is sticking to that. And
that's the thing. That's why I think he is the right man for the job. It's whether the club are right for him right now.
Yeah. With who he's working with, it is very, very, as you said, about the right directors of football, the right scouts, the right analysts on your team. It is very, as you said, all on the same hymn sheet. If one cog is a little bit broken within that, it's tough. It's tough. But it really, the moral of this kind of podcast is simplicity. There is beauty in simplicity. There is, honestly. Not everything has to be overcomplicated. And that's where I compare it to. I mean, I guess we as I said, I've already addressed the United Spurs game. I know our problems. We'll talk about it more as we go into the Forest preview. But when I'm comparing it, we'll go into Arsenal next, and then we'll go on to City. They kind of go hand in hand at the minute anyway. There was control was the key word, really, when you look at the Palace game on Monday, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anything, you had United's problem in the first half. You just couldn't finish your dinner. And and you start to worry, don't you, then? Because you think, oh, shit, we've gone one whole half without scoring. It just gives the other team a bit of confidence and hope that they can get something.
Do you know what? I was... I'm going into the game, I was surprised that I saw Partey at right back and Gabriel not on the pitch.
That was the same as the last week as well, yeah?
Yeah. That was the same apart from Timber obviously playing at left back and inverting, whereas he had Tomiyasu playing that role. I was surprised because I thought, and me and Chaz talked about this actually, we thought that would be a home tactic. We thought we would see that when we're at home and it's our fortress and stuff like that.
It just shows you.
Thomas Partey having a bit of a free defensive role sort of thing.
It just shows you the levels you're going up. Trust me.
It's bold. It's definitely bold. But I think that it actually was the right decision in the end because Palace sat back a lot in that game. Like if I've seen a lot of the stats and everything around it, I've watched it back. Palace sat back a hell of a lot. They really put themselves into a block. And I think that is because they kind of knew what I've wanted for ages is they saw Arsenal as a big team. And I think that was their tactic to hit us on the break, to hit us on. There was, absolutely.
Arsenal respected now. They're actually respected by pretty much every team.
They're respected and feared because they know that they know, opposition teams know we can open them up. So I'll be honest with you, it was frustrating not putting the ball in the back of the net because we had clear-cut chances to. And I actually rate Eddie Nketiah for this game. I know he missed a few,
but he worked so hard. And he won the penalty, and he made the run. But the key in that, again, the lineup he set up with, control. He's putting Partey right back and then shifting White and Saliba together. That's just elements of more control. He wants more the maximum control he can possibly get. Think about it. You've effectively got four midfielders there in what's it called? Partey, Ødegaard, Havertz, Rice. Yeah. And then if you want to, you can bring his Zinchenko. He just wants to dominate. He's taking so many leaves out of Pep's book. It's there. It's obvious.
It is master and apprentice. It is. There's so many similar philosophies and stuff like that.
And it's about who can get the little edge that are over each other now as well. It will only be fine margins now. It's all about because Pep got that edge last season because he changed it, put Stones into midfield, and they went a level above you again as well. So it's about trying to just get one over on each other. There's not many levels between the two.
Completely agreed. And I think from a game perspective, I think we should have put that game out of sight, right? But I can understand why we didn't. And I thought, obviously, there is a moment in that game in the red card that makes it. It just changes the game, right? You talk about moments in football and fine margins and
It
stuff.
does. I was thinking, oh shit! I genuinely had in my head Arsenal might draw this game.
I was convinced that we weren't going to win.
There's two ways to look at that when the red card. I don't agree with the red card anyway, because it was just the throwing in the first place.
Anyone that does is an idiot. I'm not being funny.
No, it's one of the harshest set of yellows I've ever seen, to be honest.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
But yeah, when you went down to 10 men, there's a level of respect, but also maybe a little bit of worry. I'm not worried for us, but worry into the future, because the respect I have is the fact you saw it through and you didn't look like conceding too often. You were very, very solid. You brought Jorginho and Zinchenko on. You had a back five and a flat three by the end of it, a flat four. Yeah,
I think we had a back six, to be honest.
Yeah. I can see you were doing proper old-fashioned defending, deep lines and stuff like that. But the only worry is, and this is where the difference is, I don't think City do that if they go down to 10 men. I think City continue as they go on.
This is exactly what I was going to say, is that I feel like we gave Palace so much respect because we still have this nervy thing around.
Yeah, the nerves. Against Forest even last week, that's the little. I rate Arsenal and Arteta so highly at the minute. For me, they're one of the best teams in the world, genuinely. But if I was to nitpick, you're right. It's the nerves, the mentality. When
it's the nerves specifically in defending. It's when we're with Forest and we let that goal in. Automatically, it was like shit.
Panic stations. Yeah, there was panic.
Another two to make ourselves comfortable and control the game again. Because right now they could get another one. And there was a 20-minute spell where Forest were on top and they could have got another goal, and that changes the game. It was the same thing at Palace. Once we went down to 10 men, there was about 4 minutes before Arteta had made his subs, and then we were just sitting back, and then we were sitting back for half an hour. Like, I don't think you're right. I think Pep and even like Klopp and they don't automatically sit back. They see how the game goes, and they still want to be positive and try and play, and then they might bring him back for the last 15 minutes or whatever. Arteta went straight into that, and I think that's because he fears about defensive nerves, and that's why I think we went straight into that.
But the silver lining within that, I saw right towards the end, as soon as Jorginho and Zinchenko got on the ball, you did start to have that bit of control again, and you did killed the game. That was the moment the game died, because we need to get into him. I thought Rice was your Rice or Nketiah, but I think Rice was your best player.
Rice was the best player in that game.
He was the best player on the football pitch.
He showed. I don't want to say it because everyone's just going to compare him to his £100 million price tag, £105 million.
He knows that. He said it in the interview after, anyway.
Yeah, but he absolutely bossed that game, and it was a pure performance.
This is to be honest, Rice is a very special player. Like, he's one of very few players that can cover that amount of ground. Okay, cool. It is a bit weird in the market, the fact that 100 million is the price tag for DMs, because DMs are always something it's not the glamour position, is it?
But they actually have become, in the way that football's evolved, especially in the Premier League, they've become one of the most pivotal positions.
I agree 100%. I think it may be the most pivotal one.
And we talk about control, right? We always we've been talking about it for 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Having a proper DM in Rodri even before Rice came party or whatever, they allow that team to have control because they can dictate the game. So that's why Rice is a controller. He's not a DM. I see him as a controller.
Rice is the prime example when we were talking about simplicity. There's beauty in simplicity, because Rice just keeps it simple. Like, as in, he covers so much ground, so he sweeps up, but he never really loses the ball. And I think that's such important, because that's such an underrated aspect now of this modern day football. Like, I think, I watch my own DM Casemiro get a bit lazy on the ball sometimes and start, swinging in passes that he doesn't need to, but Rice just keeps it simple. He takes the ball into certain areas to drag you up the pitch. He covers, his positioning is on point, and he won't ever make that line breaking pass unless he's 99.9% sure it's going to come off.
Exactly.
Well.
And this is the thing, right? When you're playing through that player and you have that player in midfield, you need them to protect that ball with their life because it's a transition point.
Yeah.
If you lose the ball there, you're automatically then defending against a real probable goal scoring opportunity. And I can pinpoint a moment of last season where Partey did the same thing. He got the ball. We were playing against West Ham, and he tried to make that pass. I don't know if you remember it. He tried to make that pass. Rice picked his pocket, and then West Ham went and scored.
No, I think they won a penalty. Was it a penalty? Yeah, I think they may have won it. Was it a pen? Yeah, I think it was a pen, wasn't it?
Was it a pen?
They won a pen.
They scored from it. I remember they scored from it. But the point, the reason I'm pointing that out is because if we're in that situation and you swap Partey for Rice now, that doesn't happen. Rice it actually doesn't because he doesn't lose the ball in those areas.
Plain and simple, Rice is £100 million player. Like in this day and age, he is like so many people just love to question the price tag and look at him and think, oh, he's such a simple footballer, like a back. People just it's lazy analysis. Yeah, he's £100 million footballer. You've got vast Premier League experience at such a young age. You've got captain material with him. His attributes
rarely injured as well.
Yeah, rarely injured. Physical attributes all on point. One of the most physically imposing players in the league, whether it comes to covering distance and actual physicality. Like it just makes sense. No matter what, you needed to sign Declan. It was a must, and he's changed the whole season.
That's why we paid.
Hold on. We've got a surprise. Hold on. We've got a surprise package here. What the?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Yes, people.
Welcome back to the channel.
This was all part of his plan, wasn't it?
He wants to make a grand entrance. We thought we weren't seeing you tonight.
Well, I just suddenly saw the notification and thought I'd have a little watch. I actually thought you were longer into it. I didn't realize it was only 26 minutes.
No, we're on some top analysis, Chaz.
I was listening to Ollie nearly made me fall asleep there. Jesus Christ, there's going to be some detail.
No, mate, we're serious, you know.
This is what happens when you're not here to put me in my place. I just go on and on, long tangent. Surprised we got any subscribers left.
We was on track to 203 subscribers instead of bloody hell. No, I was singing Arsenal's praises, to be honest.
Well, we were talking about Declan Rice and
Declan Rice in particular. Yeah, what a player.
Yeah, don't let me cramp your style. You continue.
No, it's not. It's I was pretty much finished up on him. I just said he was £100 million player. Simple and plain as that. He actually is, and I don't see there shouldn't really be a debate about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But before we finish on the Arsenal game, I have to we touched on it, but we have to talk about VAR and red cards and it's actually stupid. Like the refs are going to have to sit. There's no apology been made for that, right? And Tomiyasu's red card still stands. So if we talk about moments in football and stuff like that, if we lose next game because Tomiyasu isn't able to play at left back, for instance, then that's on the refs. The fact that we can't look at a red card incident because it was a yellow makes absolutely no sense. There needs to be some consistency and quick.
Yeah, it can't be rescinding.
It is ruining it. It is ruining it. Like there's a lot of shouts of the new rules and VAR's inconsistency and stuff ruining football. But we are literally talking about, and it's 2 weeks into the season.
You know, the one thing I said about VAR, the one that really is the most frustrating thing is when, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, so when they don't, how are the levels referring? If they don't refer it to VAR, they can't intervene. Like I don't understand how.
Yeah. If it doesn't go to VAR, they can't do anything.
So, but for example, McAllister got a straight red. It's been rescinded now. Yeah. And it wasn't a red. And why during the game couldn't they have challenged that? Or
this is the thing. There's no consistency with it.
I thought it was because Arsenal's was the yellow card, no?
No. The Arsenal one we understand. It was about more of the straight red from McAllister.
They didn't go back and look at it in the game, sort of thing.
I don't know. I thought they still reviewed it, even if they don't contact the ref. But I don't know. I don't know why that wasn't. Then I'm not sure.
No, but what about that clear and obvious rule? Apparently, like if it's not clear and obvious, you're not allowed to review it or something. Like, I don't know what it is or something.
Clear and obvious is subjective.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So it should always be. It should always be. There needs to be so much transparency in it. You know how it's done in rugby, right?
Yeah.
There is video refereeing in rugby, and it's been in for years, but long before VAR.
Oh yeah.
And what happens is the ref stands there on the pitch, sees the big screen where it's replaying the decision. All the players stand away, and he makes his decision, and then it's an on-field ref's decision. So we're not talking about 5 different refs that are in an office 200 miles away or whatever it will be. We're talking about the one ref that's controlling the game, that's on the pitch, right? If he gets it wrong, that's his decision. But he needs to have that aid and guide or the technology to help him make those decisions. That's what VAR is. VAR isn't to overrule the ref, in my opinion. I think the ref makes the decision, but you give him the tools to make the decision.
Everything we spoke about simplicity. Why don't they just apply that to VAR in football?
Exactly.
Just
VAR can work. It just needs to be applied in the right way.
Not making it complicated. They're making it complicated, man. Honestly, it's It's just.
Do you think this rule about going out of play business is going to cause more issues? Because I like the idea of what they're trying to say, that you can't waste time in that, but on the other hand, the refs are now taking it out of hand, and you're seeing so many yellow cards for goalkeepers getting yellow carded for wasting time when the score's 0-0. Like, no one's wasting time with that.
Players are already complaining about the amount of time they're playing anyway. I saw Varane come out with a whole bloody statement to the FA about the amount of games players are playing, and it's not as enjoyable as it once was in football. And all they're doing is prolonging the games. The fixtures don't stop. There's competition. There's more competitions being created, like the Conference League, things like that. And now the games are going to be longer. It's just gonna. Weirdly, it's going to put players off playing every single time. Honestly.
So based on last season, there was something like 32 or 34 red cards in the season, I believe. And if you go by the trajectory of this year and the amount that they've given out, there'd be over 100 plus red cards given out.
Because a lot of players will just be starting on yellows in the first half.
And that stupid one about, the players can't do this to give. The thing is, though, that shouldn't influence the referee anyway. So just let them do it.
Exactly. What's the matter?
Just go with your own instinct.
It's overboard. Let's be fair. The players need to take responsibility, and they need to be more respectful to refs. But that respect doesn't come because the decisions and the refereeing is so poor. Like, the refereeing in this country is so poor, and we've got probably the best league in the world. This is what I can't work out. And the refs are paid minuscule amounts compared to the footballers. So do you want my full opinion? Pay the refs more, and then you can expect more. If you put them on that same price model, right? We pay for the best players in the world. We pay for the best managers in the world. We pay for the best stadiums in the world.
I don't know what the limit is, though. What a good ref is. That's the thing. I don't know what the cap is for a good ref. Like, I don't know whether they need just better training. I don't know, to be honest.
Maybe, but you can see my point is that I think, I don't know the figures, but in comparison, refs aren't paid the same amount, right? And you shouldn't pay for failure. You shouldn't.
Top of my head,
it would be that. But if we get foreign refs in or whatever that are top of their game, I don't care. Go and get them in, because I want the game to be ref properly.
Top of my head, I can remember the ref in the World Cup final was really good. The Polish ref. Because he had a master. He literally had a masterclass of a referee display. The way he was letting things go and stuff like that. Like, that's what I can think of the top of my head of how to manage a game as a referee.
But that's what you want. The referee is a clinical part or a key part of the game, right? You want them to have as good a game as like the players or like anything, or the team or whatever. You want that from the ref. You don't want. It's so boring having to talk about it all the time. You because most of the time the decisions are always fucking wrong, and it's just it is ruining the game at the minute. It is, and it's frustrating to watch, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but yeah, enough on the old refs. Now we don't just deserve to give them that much limelight. Bloody hell. No, I was going to say, because I was just saying Arsenal and City kind of go hand in hand. I was saying before we got onto Arsenal, I feel like moving on to City is the right transition, and City are just doing what I've just lauded in Arsenal for, but maybe even in a better fashion with the 1-0 win over Newcastle. And I don't think people can sneer upon how important that result may be towards the end of the season. Like, this is a serious Newcastle team now. Like, they're for me, that I think they may get top 5. They may get Champions League again. And they're a physical beast. They're specimens. And City, to reduce them to the amount of chances they did this early on in the season, I don't know, man. You've got to give City credit. I know it wasn't the most glamorous game in the world, but my word, there was a bit of beauty in that grit of winning that game.
Yeah, well, it was. We watched it together, didn't we? It was. Yeah, to be honest with you, just quite a good game. Well, it wasn't a good game. It was almost a boring game, but it was like it was good to see. I think that don't get me wrong. I still think that when Champions League hits, Newcastle may still struggle a little bit, but they've come out the blocks pretty well to start with.
I think this Newcastle team won't maybe lose more than 5 games this season. I don't think as well. And I just think getting that win over them so early on in your first home game of the season, I just think it's so good.
And that's what we've got to remember. That was at the Etihad.
Yeah,
like think about what Selhurst Park's going to be like. That's a fortress. Yeah. That's going to be like to win there is going to be a huge result for any team.
Go on. What were you thinking, Chaz?
No, I thought it was quite impressive, to be honest. It was. I mean, one thing for a Newcastle point of view, which I loved. Obviously, we rate Eddie Howe anyway, but he looked fuming with that performance from Newcastle.
No, because they believe they're on the cusp of
They believe that they could go there and get 3 points, But yeah, we've said this about City. I think they're just going to be finding ways throughout the season. Whether, I'm not saying, they're dead cert, but regardless of Arsenal finding ways and City finding ways, they're just going to go again, aren't they? Like there may be a drop off which sees Arsenal win it by a few points, but I still think it's not going to be like a serious drop off. They're going to be right up there.
What did we say, Chaz, in our predictions? Who would concede the least goals this season? And we said City. They look so solid at the back. That. What's that? The quote that Fergie said: "Attacks win you games, but defense wins you titles." Yeah. Oh my God! Like, someone made a prediction. I was watching another SDS reference, Chaz, and apparently, Liban was saying that they might. It's going to be tough in the modern day football. They might look to try and get close to Chelsea's 15 goals they conceded in 2005 under Mourinho. Yeah. But I don't. That's a big stretch. That's a very, very hard thing to do. That's something that I never thought would really ever get matched ever again. But there's just, you look at their defense. Guardiola just is fitting like a glove. They are, and I wanted to bring Arsenal and City into this, but specifically City. They're physical beasts, aren't they? They're actually a physical football team now. This is the evolution. This is a new evolution of Pep Guardiola. These teams, this is everything United are lacking, Arsenal and City have. That's why I've put it in the title, that they're so technically sound and secure, but physically they're just as good as they are.
This is the thing, right? Is that he's gone from having or the football's evolved from where you just needed physical beasts that will hoof the ball up to the striker, the big strikers, and put it in the back of the net, to like more tiki-taka when you go to Spain and stuff like that, and Pep Guardiola football.
Pep don't like that word. Pep don't like that word, tiki-taka. He doesn't like it.
Where they're a bit more lightweight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he's basically merged the two, where he's got physical beasts that are every person in that team is so highly technical.
Look at it, Rodri, Stones, Haaland.
They will beat anyone on a ball. Everyone's a beast in that team. And he's almost, to be honest with you, if you look at the way he's put the teams together in the last 2 games, he's almost gone back to a 4-4-2.
No, it's true. It does. It goes in cycles. Football goes in cycles. And I thought Pep was more stubborn than this originally when he first came in, but he's completely changed my mind on him. He evolves with the game. He's always looking to, be innovative for these teams and always trying to be the step ahead of everyone else and try and create the new wave. He's one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT anyway, as well. So, Like
it's revolutionary to football.
Me and Chaz, we were making orgasmic noises in the pub the other day, and that's not out of context. That's in context. Yeah, Rodri was absolutely running that game by himself. Yeah, he is. Chaz, how good is Rodri? No, seriously,
it's unbelievable.
So good. He's the best player in the world, bar none.
Yeah, and that's the part we're oozing about is, in some people's minds, not his worst, but a weaker attribute of his passing. They talk about his tackling, how well he reads the game, and we were looking at passes where he's just splitting defenses, just literally, he's just playing straight passes through the middle
by himself. He's doing triangles with players. He knows when to release it, when to go back, when to go sideways, when to break the lines. He knows he's underrated in his creative aspect. He can drag the ball forward.
Yeah.
He can get a goal.
Last season we saw some important goals. Yeah,
exactly. And even the Bayern Munich goal, and then even the season before, I'm pretty sure he scored on that last game of the season to get them back in it as well against Villa. Like he's so, world class is just him, isn't it? If that is who he is, like he just is world class.
If you think of Declan Rice as a £100 million player, you think of him as 150 plus.
Easy. 100%, 100%. Like he's a joke. To be honest, Pep needs to take some credit for him because Pep played that position himself. Yeah, so he's obviously giving him huge tip. No one ever anticipated Rodri when they got him from Atletico to be that good. Not that good. Especially the fact that Fernandinho in himself is a legend at that club as well, yeah. I think he's gone beyond Fernandinho, which is mental, which is crazy because I rated him highly.
Do you think he's more important to the... If it was him or De Bruyne and you could choose which one was injured, who would be more important to keep?
I think Rodri's more important. I think Rodri is more important. I think we're going to see it now because De Bruyne is out. And we saw Foden had a masterclass in that game as well. So
yeah, he did as well. He probably stepped up, and we talked about that last week. And I said how much Foden would need to take his chance.
I agree.
Rodri just, oh God, he's just so good, man. He's everything I want in DM. He's everything you want. Physical.
Sometimes it's that position that I like. I don't really need to have a debate whether who's better player, De Bruyne and that, because they do different things. But I just think, like they're gonna get. I feel like they could get goals without De Bruyne. Will they be as rock solid without Rodri? I don't know.
I think it's more important. Like the you see what we were talking about at the beginning of the podcast, Nick, like the whole control piece and everything like that. He's the controller in that team, and if you lose him, they've still got Phillips on the book, don't they? Like if Phillips is coming in, he's not doing the same job.
No, even though I rate Phillips, I do rate Phillips to a certain degrray, but you're right, he's levels behind Rodri. Oh, Ollie, he's your ideal footballer, mate. Shirt tucked in, no tattoos.
Oh yeah. You two just been dreaming about him on your own. You haven't even asked me.
Yeah, black
boots in the corner on my own.
Normal haircut, nothing too crazy as well, anything like that as well.
No, you can have long hair. You can have long hair. Still shirt tucked in.
Clean shaven. This guy, if he went into any job interview, he'd get any job in the world. It doesn't matter if it's football or not. No, I mean, he is that clean. He's clean. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, City just huge win.
Improving, isn't he? That's the weird thing. Out of a lot of players, I know we've said De Bruyne could be, with injuries and that coming towards the end and stuff like that. At the moment, Rodri's getting better and better.
Yeah,
literally.
I do think, as the title suggests, it is Arsenal and City is the bar. Like, I mean, maybe City may be a bar higher, I don't know, but they are the bar, and it's going to continue that way. It's not really like a mystic, anything too crazy prediction. I think most people would have anticipated it, but I don't believe there's anyone coming close to these two again this season. I believe that. I think there'll be a 10-point gap between third and the rest.
You don't think Brighton can keep it up?
No. They were obviously not as they'll still have a good season, but yeah.
Why am I going to Brighton for?
Oh, I like Brighton, mate. I wouldn't rule out Leicester season. Brighton.
Hey, we're talking of revolutionary managers.
Apparently he could replace Guardiola in the future.
That would kill me. That would
very
kill
good
me.
Football.
Someone said it the other day. Yeah, I know Pep's had his dominance. Yeah, like ridiculous levels of dominance. But every City manager's won a league since Mark Hughes. So Mancini and Pellegrini both won leagues. So City do just win, regardless. They win stuff all the time.
They do.
I don't think it'll be as simple as Pep goes. Yeah, they'll go down a level, but I don't think they're just going to vanish outside. They're still a well-run club. from top to bottom. As you said, Ollie, top to bottom, whether Pep's there or not, I know they've got the GOAT as their manager. Don't matter. They're still well-oiled.
That's the thing, right? When they go out and sign, what we were talking about earlier, Pep's not like in those deals. He's concentrating on football on the pitch and stuff.
He has an influence, but it's not.
Yeah, of course he has influence, but he's not the one doing it.
Yeah, it's the whole club. Everyone's on the same.
What do we think of what's it called? They're adding Doku now, which I think is another dimension to their wing. I don't know if you know much about him, Ollie, but seriously, rapid, direct winger. Not anything they have right now. So it's something different. There's another tool to the arsenal.
It's interesting though, because Silva's just signed as well, hasn't he? So you see the concerns, or it's not concerns obviously, because none of us are City supporters, but what we were talking about City last week, if Walker goes, if Silva goes and stuff like that, do they start looking a little bit weaker? But I'm not being funny. Now that that's happened and stuff, then there's no drop off there.
They've changed my mind rapidly, because Doku, and you'll probably agree, Chaz, he's a bit of a throwback to now the Sanes and Sterlings, where they were a lot more direct, and it was a different. To be honest, it might have been one of my favorite versions of City. They were very, very. They had a bit of everything, technical, but they were very strong and powerful, and they had a lot of speed.
Doku, Sane is a good
yeah. Doku is going to be a problem in terms of, okay, he might not be the finished article. He might be a bit raw in terms of his finishing. I don't think he'll get many goals, but he's just going to cause havoc, isn't he? He's going to cause absolute havoc on the wings. And imagine, when City, they suffocate teams all game. Imagine bringing Doku on for the last 20 as well against tired teams.
I do think the out and out winger, the player that you get that can get the ball and then look at fullback and take them on, is so under.
Imagine Haaland. It's going to help Haaland out as well.
Massively. Like you could go back through the years and look at so many wingers, but like I think it's underrated, because we always look at inverted wingers nowadays.
No, exactly.
A bit more creative and stuff like that. But a player that can get a ball, take a man on the wing is so important.
I'm going to keep referencing the podcast I listen to. Yeah. Someone was saying, it's all about, City have all these ball retention wingers like Grealish, and they had Mahrez, and there's not players that really beat a man that often. But like City are now going to have different weapons now to them as well. They're going to have the balance is going to be good with Doku and.
But this is where football's going, right? And this is why the squads are so important. This is why having different molds of play and stuff like that is so important, because football is evolving, and to be honest with you, over the last couple of years and in the next couple of years will evolve so much that you are playing different games throughout a game.
Yeah, I agree.
So you'll need that like fast-paced winger to come on, or you might need that creative winger to come on, or whatever. You might need to change systems halfway through a game. Where you might see that's where you need loads of different profile players that can play in different areas, like the whole 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or 3. You get my point.
Yeah,
it's definitely going out of top tier football. It's just going to be possession play and players that can operate in certain zones.
Lastly on City, Chaz, they've been linked now. Well, they look like they're going to really push to get Matheus Nunes from Wolves. Like, that's something I even identified before he joined Wolves. He would have fitted City. I remember Pep saying after a game against Sporting in the Champions League, he said how much he rates this kid at the time, And I said, it's a City type signing. I could see him going to City and that. And obviously it's happened a year or two later now with Wolves in the middle of it. Like, it's another profile they've obviously visited, and they just seem to get bang on the money most of the time now. Whenever they sign a player, it just seems to be quite seamless. Yeah,
and something that I feel that people don't even, or they might realize now because he's got so successful, but like Pep, he does it slightly different to some managers where they've got a really skinny budget, and you're thinking about who they can, Klopp turns Robertson from 6 million to whatever, one of the best left backs, but he is still, regardless of spending 100 million, 200 million, whatever, he is still improving all these world-class players. So
it's simple.
He can bring in any sort of player I would put down that he could improve. and you just think that someone like Nunes is just going to thrive.
We've seen the fundamentals of Nunes anyway. He's a ball carrier. He's a threat from distance. Very like, I'm not comparing him to De Bruyne because no one's like De Bruyne, but they're gonna, if they bring him in, they will be able to get through that period without him, and bringing him in then in December, January is just gonna add to their like.
You know, like we talk about £100 million player, like what's £100 million and stuff like that. Grealish came in for £100 million player, literally took a season out because he was getting up to speed with the way that Pep wants him to play. And then look at his game now. If he looked at his game from now and compared to what he was like when he was playing Villa, it's ridiculous.
The only thing is, Villa, that was my favourite version of Grealish because of who he was playing for and the type of player he could be, like a maverick. He could do he was just, he could get on the ball, take on everyone, and that is fine. I'm used to Pep refining some players for the system and the team. I don't mind that.
But I bet his understanding of the game and the way he plays is astronomically better.
Yeah. And I just think that, I don't know, Man City are just, they're here to stay, obviously, as well.
Well, it's interesting as well that they're spending money this late on. Well, not late on, but they got through pre-season and we're in the season now, so it's just interesting that they're actually putting.
Everyone spends money now. I don't want to hear it with the City thing about.
I
don't want to hear it. Like everyone spends money now, like 200 million plus a window.
Yeah, because the market's gone like that. So regardless. Right now, to be honest, I think was it 48 million they bid Nunes today. I think
it's not even that.
That's not even that big.
Bad.
These days, it's not.
That's just the way it is, and
I remember. I think it was like 2 seasons ago where we were saying it's unfair because City have got 2 £50 million players in every position. Not being funny, but I think if you go through all the Chelsea squad, and
I was just going to say,
and even ours, to be fair, you could probably go through all of ours, and their market worth on average is probably something like 40 million. So football's moved on very quickly in terms of how much players are worth in the market.
I was going to say that's a good transition. Talking of money, astronomical money,
absolutely.
Chelsea, I mean, they might be the most fascinating club, I would say, at the minute in the world, maybe, to be honest. It's just interesting to see what their plan is, short-term, long-term. It's just, it's a lot to unpack with Chelsea, innit? They're a very, very confusing club. But I did say to Chaz, I always say, ultimately, they will be back on top at one point. I do believe that.
They will, but how long does that take? Because by the early signs, it doesn't look like it's happening this season.
No, I watched the West Ham game in a different light. I think very similar to the Arsenal Palace, maybe a little bit of the United Spurs. They didn't take their chances in the first half. Obviously, missed the penalty, and then I think second half, Antonio did run them ragged. He ran all the defenders ragged, but Chelsea, and on another day, they could have seen that game out. So they just need these young attackers to improve their game, being more clinical.
They'll always be a bit frantic though, because they're inexperienced.
I know, but it's going to come. The experience will come with the Premier League. The more games they play, this is why I'm not worried about. This is why I'm trying to laugh at them as much as possible now. Because
I don't want them to have a good season this season because neither do I. Arsenal's toes. I agree with you. They will come good. There's not a doubt in my mind they will come good. They literally have the best midfield in the Premier League.
Yeah, they do. They actually do. I don't care what anyone says. And it was funny to see Caicedo's disaster class.
Yeah, of course, it's a good story.
He just stunk the whole place up. It was one of the worst 20-minute cameos I've seen for a long time.
That's actually the difference between two £100 million players, right? In how humble and how much Declan Rice understands how much he's been bought for and what that means and everything like that. And Caicedo was bought 2 years ago or something like that for £5 million or £7 million, and he's jumped up by nearly 100%. So for him to come on, maybe he doesn't understand the weight of it, and it was holding him down a little bit on his debut.
What do you think, Chaz? Is it just about Chelsea really finding the right balance in the whole team and how to go about it? And obviously, Nkunku's injury is a big miss. It's tough. They need to find a settled 11. We've seen it all with Arteta and Ten Hag going through it now. you need to try, keep testing different lineups until you find the right one.
Yeah, that's how I see it at the moment. I was quite impressed with them, to be honest. I thought, yeah, like Nick said, they could have gone and won that game quite comfortably. It just didn't go their way. It did, there was signs of last season, because there was a lot of games last season where if they took their chances, they could have been, Havertz missed a lot of chances last season.
Yeah.
But I just feel that someone like Jackson or, certain players, if they start scoring, it will continue. At the end of the day, if you're not scoring up, you're not scoring goals going forward, and the game goes longer and longer, these teams like West Ham, they're still in the game, so their pressure goes back onto the defence, and that game just got away from them. Really, Antonio played well, even Paqueta played decent. Like it just got away from them, and there was the 3 points gone. But I think they'll continue to improve if they find their lineup.
I'm going to continue to. They deserved pressure. They deserve to be bantered because the money they spent. Like no one's ever spent
900 million in 2 seasons.
That's actually fucking. But we have never seen this in the history of football. Yeah,
no, it's ridiculous.
And a shout out to Michael. I'll tell him, never forget last season. I will never ever forget that 12th place finish. I don't care if you win multiple Champions Leagues. You look back on that season. Yeah, never forget. But at the end of the day, it's gonna work eventually. There's too many good players. Look how many new faces there are. They don't even speak. Some of them don't speak the same language. They don't know each other's, best assets, their best attributes. You need chemistry, in the team. So as much as I want to banter them, and I will continue to, it takes time. I don't care if you spend. They've spent $1 billion quite literally in a year. And that just shows you can spend as much money as you want, but it does take time. It doesn't matter who you are.
So it's all about understanding how your teammate plays and building up relationships and knowing, okay, well, he likes it on his right foot or he likes taking it on the back foot or stuff like that. Like that takes time to build up. And you need to play enough games with your teammates in those triangles or in
so more so it's the pressure. We're looking at Poch more, like he's
I was going to say that. I think the club
has to integrate it
together. We feel that the club is always going to be better at some stage. It's just whether it's under that manager. Like to be honest, if you were going to ask me my honest opinion, I'd have confidence in Poch, and I think he could be the right manager with these young talents, but it might not be. So it's like Chelsea know they've done enough or spent enough to transform the club going long term. It's just which manager will it be under?
I think for the moment, early days, but I think that 45 minutes against Liverpool and that 45 minutes against West Ham, second and first half, like you can see that they looked at everything we spoke about, Ollie, this whole podcast about control. Poch looks like he's going down that route of controlling football games, overloading in certain areas.
And he will. It will be a time thing for Poch because Chelsea fans are impatient.
And they will have exactly what we said, the moral of the podcast. We were saying they will have physical and technical superiority. Caicedo, Jackson, they're physical players, Colwill, Sassy, all these. Then you've got the technical players like Nkunku, Madueke. They're going to try and get that balance right. I think, they'll be back. But it was funny to see. West Ham just Antonio put on a clinic, didn't he, up front? To be honest, he was just bullying them, running them ragged.
He absolutely destroyed.
Yeah. But that's the main bit of this pod. Chelsea and United, you can see how far they've got to go to reach Arsenal City's levels.
I don't think it will take that long, though. I genuinely don't. United are a bit more.
United might be a bit different, but Chelsea, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I think it's the ownership model that put United and Chelsea in different paths, because Chelsea have the ownership model at the minute that are investing and fully want to see Chelsea.
Looking like they have a plan. It does look like they have a plan.
It does. Whether it looks chaotic from the outside in, like they clearly have a plan, and like we said, it's better to have everyone on one hymn sheet and working to the same plan. Whether you think that's good or bad, it is better to have everyone on that same hymn sheet, so there's no confusion. Because when confusion's in, like at United, because you don't know who's gonna be taking over in 6 months. You don't know, like all of these different things come into it. It makes it harder for the players to perform on the pitch, the managers, coach, those teams,
whereas
recruitment, all of it.
We're bloody haggling over 21 million for Amrabat. You see that? No, that's the difference, though. If you're willing 115 on Caicedo, I know we spent money, but if we're haggling over that and we have to let go of these players, it's all. We're not. Let's be honest. It's not a serious club. We're not serious at the minute. Like we've got a cap to our limitations. It's not like I've done my United section, but we're not a serious football club. I'm going to be honest at the minute.
Well, so I said you weren't getting him. We'll see.
I don't know, Chaz, because they said the deadline is tomorrow or Monday. Apparently, Fiorentina manager said that he's not training. He's training by himself for the minute, waiting to see what's happening, basically. He was meant to play tonight in the Conference League. But
from his side, it looks like he's waiting.
He's a Greek.
You're not giving him the money, so I don't know what's going on.
We're signing a Turkish keeper from Fenerbahce. It's not the better. It's just not exciting anymore. It's just not. I've been zapped out of me, and But anyway, that's perfect for the predictions, I guess.
So yes, we go on predictions.
Yeah, do you want me to sort of read out the? Are we doing them all? What did we do last time? Did we do them all, or did we do?
Yeah, we did them all. We can't actually remember what we said though from last time, so we might.
There was a few correct ones. It's gone out of my head, but there was a few.
I got one correct.
I had City, I think 1-0. I think
you did have 1-0 City. Yeah.
Someone else, there was a few correct ones. Go on then. So to start Friday night, Chelsea versus Luton.
Wait, hold on. Oh, we're not recapping the predictions we done.
You want me to get? Well, I'd have to.
I don't know unless you wrote them down, Chaz.
Yeah, I'd have to find them. I don't know if I've got them.
No, let's just forget. We'll make sure to write them down this time.
I mean, realistically, we had
just letting the 3-1 Liverpool.
You had 3-1 Liverpool. I remember that. I think apart from maybe Chelsea, we got most of them. Like at least the result correct. I mean, we said Villa would batter. I think someone might have said 4-0 or 3-0.
There might have been a 4-3, 4-0. Yeah, I think.
Brighton, I think we would have said. So yeah, that was probably the shock. I would have said. Well, I don't think I said West Ham would win, but
I think as we're doing the predictions, we'll just briefly skim over the team, their last results, and just a little bit there. Like Everton, for example. I feel like
Yeah, so Friday night is Chelsea versus Luton. Not a bad team you would expect coming back after the loss.
Can I just say, have you seen them stats that Chelsea got like 5 wins in their last 31 games? And Enzo Fernandez has won 1 Premier League game of football.
That is mental.
That's embarrassing to Enzo Fernandez.
This is why we need to laugh now quick. Like we have to, because this is unbelievable, isn't it? They don't win football matches.
Maybe if they lose against Luton, we'll get Chelsea fans.
Oh, it'd be the best thing. Honestly, I don't care if United get battered on the weekend. If Chelsea lose to Luton, it's made my weekend already. Honestly.
So what we going?
Oh, we're going to go Chelsea win. Chelsea get a win. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going
Chelsea. I've gone 3-0 Chelsea.
I'm going to go with a 1-0 Chelsea just to give Luton some flowers.
I'll go 4-0 Chelsea. Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah, I think the floodgates will open in this one.
It's not. We expect it. That's the thing. It's not anything to write home about, is it? That's the thing. Yeah. Maybe Jackson will get his first goal.
This one is quite interesting for Nick, especially 12:30. It is, after beating United, Spurs travel to Bournemouth.
Oh, it would be so Spursy, wouldn't it? It would be so Spursy to go and lose this now. It would be.
It actually would, and you can see it.
What happened last year? What happened when Liverpool beat us 7-0 last year and they ended up losing to Bournemouth the weekend after?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh God, this is going to be hot. Chaz, Madison
the Bournemouth coming off that the 3-1 loss at Liverpool,
which is
says to me
on a bit of a high from your game.
I know on fantasy it said that Madison was 75%. Let me just check if there's any.
These Keith there are these. Do you know what? Who would have thought it? After they beat us, I'm starting to think these lot need to get humbled. Already they need to get humbled.
I'm going to go Spurs win this one.
Saying that, actually, it says 25% on the official, so currently being assessed in the injury.
We're looking at Oliver Skip coming back in.
Maybe I'm going to change it. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna go for a draw in this as well. I'm gonna go 1-1. I'm gonna go with Ollie.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs. Oh god, they can't be getting away with. Come on, not Andoni, not against Andoni.
God.
Ollie has no idea what I'm talking about.
I thought we were just doing predictions, to be honest. So I'm ready with the next game.
Ollie, did you even know that Fulham lost 3-0 last week?
Yeah, of course I did.
Well, the Gunners are playing them at home at 3:00. It is Arsenal versus Fulham.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
You've had a nice start to the season, fixture-wise again.
If we don't win this, Fulham's throwing the striker. So if we don't win this quite heavily, if I'm gonna go 4-0.
Well, you don't rate Raul Jimenez.
No.
Fucking.
That's why they're trying to get Balogun off us.
Well, funny enough, that's the stadium where his head injury happened against Luis.
Yeah, true, very true. Go on and fire something at me.
Yeah, I'm going 4-0.
Ollie, if you don't win, alarm bells ringing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We literally need to pick up we can't afford to drop any points.
Okay.
Home needs to be a fortress.
I'm going 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Was it last year? It was 2-1, wasn't it? Remember when you had to come? We watched it together. You had to come back from 1-0 down. When Mitrovic, you remember when Gabriel scored again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mitch, I do remember that.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go 5-1 Arsenal.
Okay, big.
Yeah, 5-1.
5-1.
They may concede. Yeah, because I think they could concede.
No, I don't want to concede. No.
Willian.
No, William coming back to the Emirates.
Yeah.
Brentford versus Crystal Palace.
This will be a good game. I guarantee it will be a good game.
What? Am I being naive? I can only see a Brentford win for some reason.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe Palace are a weird team. Sometimes they randomly turn up when you don't expect them to. Then again, Chaz, a draw does look like it could. Brentford are that team, yeah. Brentford will turn up for the big games and win unexpected games, but then at home sometimes. Do you know what? I'll go for it.
Go on.
I'll go
just pussyfooting around.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-2.
Ooh. I'm going for a 2-1 Palace.
I'm going 3-1 Brentford.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I'll come back to that one.
Where does that puts Brentford on 7 points? Yeah, at 9.
Yeah. If they did that, yeah.
Ollie, did you believe in Thomas Frank?
Yeah. I rate Thomas Frank. I think he's a good man.
Shout out to Remo, by the way. 3 goals in 2 so far in Tony's absence. He's a baller. He's a baller.
Tony,
yeah.
Everton versus Wolves.
Oh my God, Everton need to win this badly. They really need to win this.
Is it pressure on Dyche if they don't win?
This is a 6-pointer already.
It's a 6-pointer, third game into the season.
Because Wolves need it just as much.
Yeah, but
the thing is,
Wolves are on the back of 3 losses.
No, 2.
2 losses.
Yeah, but actually, because it's only taken. Well, they lost against Arsenal 5-0 away. So,
wait, what?
I'm looking at it on team form.
Wait, what do you mean? Who lost 5-0 to Arsenal? Oh, you mean on the last game of the season? He's gone on the last game of last season.
I just wanted to get Arsenal in there because it's been 5-0.
Ollie, that was a whole other manager that was in team.
It's going to be a stinky game, isn't it?
It will be a bad game. Someone's got to nick this, I think. Someone's got to nick. It's going to be a 1-0 either way, I feel like. I feel like Everton win this 1-0, you know.
No, I think it's going to be a horrible game. I'm going 0-0.
Yeah, I might agree with Nick. 1-0 Everton.
The
only thing is, I do feel like I give that 1-0 score to Everton like most weeks, and they let me down. So,
yeah, but they're going to scumbag a win somewhere, aren't they? They're going to do it, right?
Another big one is down to Old Trafford. It is Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest.
I don't look forward to games anymore. Do you know what? This should be a formality, and we should be looking onto the Arsenal game after, to be honest. But there is no formality. You lot beat them 2-1, crap in the bed at the end.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 United.
Oh my god.
I'm going to go.
Say 4-0. Go on.
I'll go 3-1. I'll say 3-1 United.
I'm going 2-1 Forest.
Oh my!
I love it.
The Forest at home. I'll report back to you next week on this podcast. I'll report back to you how I'm feeling because
I think that United will come good, but I think this period is going to be bad for you.
Ollie's got some doubt into me here. No, seriously, I can see like
Nick. If you lose on Saturday, we're doing an emergency podcast.
Yeah, emergency podcast. Yeah.
Oh my god!
We just do a reaction video. We'll do a Rory. It'll come up within 5 minutes of the game ending.
No money, Mace, for 6 weeks. It's gonna be
exactly.
Nice.
Actually, that might be
still warrants that nickname. Yeah, still warrants that.
Well, listen, he does when Eriksen's going to be rolling up to the Emirates next.
Oh, you never know. It might be McTominay.
Can my result depend on what lineup he picks?
Yeah. If Garnacho starts again, then just pack the season in. If Garnacho starts this game, then I give up.
Yeah. If Garnacho starts, I'm sticking with my.
You know what, Chaz? No, I like.
I'm going to go down the middle.
I'm going to go 2-1 United. I think we'll win it really, really late on. I think we're going to struggle in this game. Actually, 2-1.
Okay. At 5:30 on Saturday is Brighton versus West Ham.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nothing else but Brighton win,
we call this the Kudus derby.
Yeah, it looks like the Hammers.
Yeah, West Ham. Ollie, West Ham getting Mo Kudus.
Wait, by the way, we're not. There's a few teams. Obviously, I'd like Arsenal to be signing them, but I think they're sleeping on that fee. I think that's quite cheap for Kudus.
Hold on. Can I just pose a question here? Would you rather Kudus over Havertz?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, because I don't rate Havertz.
No, but apparently we are the club that inquired about Kudus in the summer, and we chose Havertz.
Oh, Jesus.
West Ham have also got one of our bad boys in Mavropanos.
Yeah,
that's true.
They're spending the money. They're spending the money now, though. Alvarez.
They need to. They've lost West Ham. There might be an injection that they need in like a few new faces coming in.
I don't know if you mentioned it, but did you mention our Ward-Prowse's performance?
Yeah, we didn't. 2 assists.
No, we didn't at all.
Someone said, West Ham were linked with En-Nesyri from Sevilla. Yeah, someone said if Ward-Prowse with En-Nesyri's heading ability, someone said this is the final evolution of Moyes. This is Moyes' ball. This is like it's him. This is his team, isn't it? It's his team. Do you know what though, Chaz? Would you just briefly on West Ham? Yeah, if they get them players, like that's good acquisitions. 2 from Ajax. You got Ward-Prowse, Premier proven. Mavropanos has been done well since he left Arsenal.
Yeah,
like we were big advocates for Moyes to leave, and I guess I still am to a certain degree for West Ham to progress. But he is putting his identity on the team. This is him. We know this is Moyes' ball. This is what, physical strikers, big centre-back, set-piece taker. Like, I guess if that's who they want to be at the minute, then I can't really begrudge them that much.
It will obviously time will tell if it works.
And Kudus might be the little spark that, imagine they keep Kudus and Paqueta linking up. Like, I'd be a little bit excited if I was West Ham, especially after, I know they lost Rice and the Conference League win. I don't know. They've done okay investing.
Yeah. They seem to, on the face of it, we don't know how these players are going to perform when they come in, but they seem to have spent the money, and they seem to be spending the money wisely. And that's all West Ham right? They wouldn't want them to just sit on the money or spend it uselessly like Tottenham did when they got the money for Bale.
God knows how they haven't got a striker, Chaz, out of all of that as well. Like that's that they just keep avoiding the strikers. They've had Haller, they've had Skamaka. I don't know what it is. Are they just going to persist with Antonio and Ings?
Yeah, I feel like they want to avoid it now because they've spent too much money and it just never works. So
and also Kudus is so flexible; he can play false 9 wings. He can play anywhere across the front. To be honest,
You mentioned them keeping Paqueta. I think he might be in trouble for.
We saw this.
He could do a 6-month Tony stint. I think
this would happen if Chaz was a footballer. He'd be fucked. Chaz would have bet. Think about how the betting rules.
I can't talk about too much of it, but I do know some insider information, and I think he's in trouble. Let's just say that.
Doing a bit of the old investigating.
Chaz been DMing for the accumulators. account.
No. That's just I work close to that industry, so
it's looking sticky. It's looking sticky.
Yeah, there is some sticky things, and the problem is, regardless of how it ends up, the outcome, because they've set the bar with Tony. Exactly, everyone will start to follow. So,
just you lot seen Tony said Arsenal, Liverpool, he'd like to join if he could.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ollie,
mate, I wait for him and fuck yeah, absolutely.
What is it? 14th or 17th of January, I think.
Yeah, fuck that Jesus geezer off.
If we're not already talking to Tony, I'll be pissed off.
Is that what you think, Ollie? Ollie, fuck Jesus, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just not it. We need him more than anyone.
Jesus can sit on my bench.
You can
get rid of Nketiah.
You don't want to go to United.
Yeah, well, it's fine. We'll get I don't know. There's options out there, isn't there?
Weggy, get Weggy back. I want Weggy back.
Yeah, no. Get my boy.
He's back in Germany now.
Oh, okay.
Hoffenheim.
I wish him well,
because he really did well for you.
Anyway, Brighton. We're on to the Brighton side of things in the West Ham because it's a good game. Brighton, top of the league, Ollie.
Yeah,
absolutely. 2-4-1 wins. Matoma deserve it. Do you see Matoma's goal from the halfway when he ran from the halfway?
They're only pushing on from what they were doing last season.
Solly March, I'm telling you, he might be when I think of throughout the podcast, throughout the season, Solly March is I'll bring his name up every single podcast, I think.
Yeah, he's.
I really, really like. He's better than Anthony. He's actually better than this is mental. Solly March.
That's not difficult, though.
Remember, Solly March came. I don't know if I'm mistaken, Chaz. He's a youth player. Yeah, he came from League One when they were in League One. Like he was serious. Like he's been there the whole time. He's been there since the Chris Hughton days, all the way through to these, the good days now. And look how
you've been singing his praises for a while.
And every single manager has rated him as well, and he's always proven right for them. I think he's technically so good, to be honest. I would take him all day at United, but yeah, we were not that good.
It seems like they've got options as well now. You see, in Ciso didn't really play so much of the first game, then played a lot of.
I heard
game.
He got
João Pedro.
Did you see in Ciso's 2 assists? They were bloody phenomenal. One of them was outside of the boot. All I did hear, and Ciso might have a serious injury. He might have a serious injury. Yeah, that could be a blow to them.
Yeah, that's a shame if he has. But yeah, you think of their strikers now. They've got a few options now.
Yeah, they are. Are we all in agreement that Brighton are the most entertaining team to watch it in the Premier League? When you look at, because we said Ollie about Arsenal and City's control and all that, but are Brighton the best to watch as a pure footballing?
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think Brighton have as much control in games as City and Arsenal do. But that's in terms of entertainment and quick play and absolutely.
They play the best football in the league. They do.
They are very entertaining. Like you could always watch a Brighton game, no matter who they were playing.
No, exactly. Like you're looking at Chaz when Jason Steele's trying to the dodgy break the line pass for it's very, very. It's on your edge stuff with Brighton all the time.
Yeah,
it's what Spurs fans wanted actually. They always wanted entertaining football.
Yeah, and they might get that. Spurs might get that. To be fair,
yeah.
Keep an eye out, Chaz. Shout out Brighton. Keep an eye out for Andingra, yeah. He's one of their
You know what? I clocked him a few times in pre-season. He scored a couple goals, didn't he?
Scored.
I had to look him up,
He scored against Luton on the first game when he came on, but they were saying, I don't know where he was. He was in Belgium, I think somewhere, but he was on loan. He was doing bits for them as well. And they were saying it's another gem they've picked up as well. I
can't remember if
learning these new names for Brighton because it's another £100 million player probably again.
That's their model though, right? They don't care about keeping hold of their best players because they're just going to sell them for 100 million now.
Yeah. What are we saying then, score-wise?
We haven't even done the scores for that.
No, I'm gonna say it's 4-0 last year. I think it was to Brighton. I'm gonna say 2-0 Brighton.
Oof. I don't think Newcastle concede that, but I think it's going to be really tight.
I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton as well.
So Brighton may stay top of the league. Oh, then again, Arsenal are going to win 5-1, aren't they? So we'll see.
Off we go to Sunday. Team, like Luton, but a team that didn't play. Burnley are hosting Aston Villa. Aston Villa just come off.
I like that one.
An exciting 5-0 win against who'd they play? Hibs, was it?
Oh yeah, Watkins hat trick in the
Yeah.
I like that game. That's claret and blue, both of them. I kind of excited about that game. I think. Oh god, that's going to be tough because you're right. Villa played yesterday. They done well against Everton. They bounced back like we knew they would. Burnley haven't played obviously since the City game. Do you know what? Is that Turf Moor? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I've just noticed that. Why haven't the Burnleys?
Burnley
Luton game because it's cancelled.
Supposed to play Luton. Yeah. I think. Oh shit! I'm gonna go 2-2.
That's what I'm gonna go with too.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna back the boys here. I'm gonna go 1-0 Burnley.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you were gonna go Villa there for a second. They were your boys last year. They were your boys under Gerrard.
You might be able to do it.
Were they your boys under Gerrard? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still in Gerrard. We trust.
You got 2 on the bounce in Saudi.
He's playing against the Cotton Farmers.
2 o'clock. Sheffield United versus Man City.
Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
Because Sheffield United. To be honest, I laugh every time I hear them. I'm sorry. I'm so disrespectful to them. I think they're awful. I really do.
Lads, FA Cup semi-final that was last year. I'm pretty sure.
I think. Well, they've lost all their. Oh god, they're awful.
Oh no, Chaz, they made a good. No, I know they're bad. I know, I agree. But they did sign Cameron Archer, good talent from Villa.
Yeah, they did spend a bit of money on him, but it makes no difference against City.
This is a case of how many goals City want to win by.
Chaz, did you see Gustavo Hamer's goal though? The one they signed from Coventry last week against Forest. That he pinged it in.
Oh yeah. They played on Friday.
He's a good player. He's a good player. But yeah, that's enough Sheffield United plaudits. No,
there's no
3-0 City for me.
Yeah. I think I think City will take it easy on them. Like,
this is what I'm saying. I don't want to go with a huge scoreline because I actually genuinely don't think City will just go crazy.
Well, they don't need to. So I think 3-0 is a safe one. Yeah,
I think Haaland will be hungry to score there.
Haaland may even get a hat trick. I don't know.
Yeah, he could go for a double hat trick. Well, I'm going to go 6. No, I'll go 4-0.
Did you guys go 4-0?
Yeah.
Probably the best game of the weekend.
Is it?
Poor old Newcastle, but Newcastle versus Liverpool.
That is a good game.
Oh my god, lads, I'm actually gassed for that one.
We could actually stream that game.
4:30.
Chaz, depending if United win or not. So basically, we could stream that game. We could stream. Shit.
That's going to be a sick game.
All right.
I said as well, it will be a huge result for anyone to go and get a result at Newcastle.
Oh god,
that's what I was saying to you, Nick. That's what I said to you about the football.
It might be. I'll be back from then. I'll be back. After that. It might be the first stream that we keep in mind. Might not. Don't promise it, but it might be the first stream we do. Yeah, and I think we may have to go back to YouTube, Chaz, for the streams.
Yeah. What a game that is, though. Newcastle.
Okay. Oh god, oh my god, this is going to be an entertaining one, isn't it? You can tell. I think
they'll concede, but I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. I can't see Liverpool beating them at home.
It's going to be so hard for Liverpool. I'm edging towards a draw, maybe, but
you sat on the fence a load.
Just to bear in mind, Liverpool did do the double over them last season.
Yeah, but I do remember both games.
They were dodgy. A 98th minute winner, and I think they just took 2 chances, didn't they, at St James Park?
Yeah.
Nunes.
No, I'm gonna go 3-2 Newcastle.
I just don't see him conceding that. I can see him conceding 1, but I just can't.
No, because Liverpool's still got potency in attack. Liverpool's still got
I feel like there is still.
No, fuck it. I'm going 3-3. I'm going 3-3 in this game. Actually, I'm going for an absolute blockbuster here. Yeah, like the City Newcastle last year.
Yeah, you go 3-3. I'll go 2-2. I think it's just both teams are just going to be just on top of each other at times.
You're right by saying it's the best game of the weekend, easily. Yeah. That's oh my god,
so good.
I realised we will actually get slapped by Newcastle again. This is like when I deep it, we are screwed, right?
Actually deepen it, you'll just get slapped.
No, but midfield, right? We might get beat 5-0 of Liverpool and Newcastle. No, I mean serious of either game. Like it's that bad.
Well, remember, you got to come to the Emirates soon, and yeah. Is it the Emirates first? Yeah.
Yeah, Emirates with fucking.
It can't be your goal difference in the 20.
Can I just
22 season?
Okay. Right, Ollie, just calm down for a minute. Yeah. Just say,
Remember, what was that? Wasn't it?
Ollie, I don't care about the goal. That was Ranić. That was Ranić time. Yeah. Listen, we are rocking up to the Emirates with Christian Eriksen at midfield again. We have not changed one bit.
I think that's got to be the title next week.
What?
United are rocking up to the Emirates.
Eriksen versus Arsenal. That's what's going to be the title.
Oh, this is so bad, isn't it? Oh,
imagine when Eriksen comes up against Rice. He's going to shit himself.
Fuck it. Bloody hell, we're screwed. Get Amrabat in ASAP, please. All right. Is that the last game, yeah?
Yeah.
Who introed the pod to go do your outro?
Nick, I did. I introed it. And I've done a decent one. Ollie said it was half decent.
I did say, I said you need to keep learning, is what I said specifically.
Well, yeah, because Chaz actually, he shocked me by coming in like this as well, so I didn't expect that.
It was a good surprise.
It was a solid one, but yeah, remember obviously to like, subscribe, all that funky business.
Comment. You missed out one of the key parts of it. Comment, subscribe.
The comment. Yeah, I guess if you want to comment, you can comment.
And then turn the notification bell on.
Yeah, that's it. Once a week. That's our aim for the minute, and then moving on to bigger and better things. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week for the Arsenal United.
Peace.